Dudley, once called Alan, the cat who spent almost 5 years winning over the heart of his new human mom, Jen. It all began in early 2016, when Jen and her husband, Alex, moved to a new neighborhood. They had barely settled into their new home when they noticed him. A black and white cat sitting in the corner of their garden, watching the house with an intensity that was impossible to ignore. Every morning, Jen would open the curtains, and there he was, waiting. If they stepped outside, he edged closer. If they moved inside, his face popped up at the kitchen window. The pattern repeated, day after day, season after season. He seemed persistent, but Jen wasn't convinced. "I've never been a cat lover," she admitted. She has always been allergic to cats and dogs, and never really lived with any animals before. It was understandable why she wasn't keen on making friends with the cat. "I just wanted to get rid of him," she said with a laugh. But the cat, then known as Alan, had other plans. No matter how many times Jen and Alex tried to discourage him and shoo him away, he kept coming back.
Good morning.
He spent his nights on their doorstep, even in the snow, despite having access to a warm home. Plot twist, he was actually a house cat. Concerned that he might be a stray, Jen decided to check it out. She knocked on doors in the neighborhood and found his owners at the very first door she tried. "Oh, that's actually our cat," they told her. He had a cat flap and was free to come and go as he pleased. If he was choosing to stay outside Jen and Alex's home, that was entirely his decision.
Snow Beast! Come on then!
They assured her he was well loved and apologized if he was being a nuisance. So Jen and her husband accepted the explanation, assuming Alan would eventually lose interest. But he never did. Over the years, his quiet presence became a constant in their lives. Despite her allergies and initial resistance, Jen grew increasingly fond of him.
Why are you so cute? And funny, strange.
She started spending time in the garden, and Alan would make his way onto her lap, purring contently. The more affection she showed him, the more he returned it.
Don't try and look nonchalant. Hello.
Their bond deepened. Jen captured moments of their strange, evolving friendship and shared them on Instagram. "Just moved into this house. Spot the absolute pain of my life," she joked in one of her first posts. Over time, the posts grew more affectionate. "I'm never alone in the garden for long," she wrote, alongside a picture of Alan keeping her company. He was a fixture in their world, sneaking into the garage, watching them through the window, and always waiting at the door. One day, Jen and Alex made an unusual discovery. In the garage, among the items left behind by the previous owners, they found a painting of a black and white cat. There was no proof of a connection between Alan and the previous owners, but the coincidence felt a bit odd. Jen felt there was something about this kitty that made it seem like he had either been in their house before or knew a lot more than he let on. After years of coexisting in this strange, in-between space, Jen and Alex wrote to Alan's owners. They respected that he had a home, but offered to adopt him if the situation never changed. His owners responded kindly, saying they had loved him all his life and were happy for this friendship to continue. But for now, he remained theirs. And so it continued until March 2020. Just before the UK entered lockdown, Jen received a message from Alan's human mom. Their family was thinking of moving on and didn't want to uproot the kitty from the only neighborhood he had ever known. Her question was, would you like to adopt him? Jen burst into tears. Without hesitation, she knew the answer. Her longtime furry friend was finally going to be part of her family. And that's how Alan became Dudley. Five years ago, Jen was convinced she would never let this cat into her house. But Alan, now Dudley, didn't care. He already knew that they belonged together. He broke me down little by little, month by month, until I no longer recognized myself. It became my deepest wish to call him my own, said Jen. And despite her lifelong allergies, she realized something extraordinary. Even though she's been living with Dudley, her allergies are totally fine. She didn't stop being allergic to other cats and still needs to take antihistamines when visiting her sister's cat, but not with Dudley. I really do think that there's something about him that's pure magic, Jen admitted. Dudley is now a 14-year-young kitty who still enjoys running through the garden and soaking up the sun in one of his favorite spots near the flower bush.
Are you comfy?
He's a big foodie and will loudly demand his dinner before heading out. Dudley has a cat flap in his new home too.
Remember when you asked me for your dinner hours ago? You already had it.
From a not very welcome visitor to a beloved member of the family, Dudley had chosen his home long before his humans even realized it.
Come and give him a love.
It looks like the famous cat distribution system works perfectly every time. Way to go, Dudley!